2012 was our very first speaker series.
There's a picture with his dad.
Yeah.
And he just recently passed.
And so you had come into the tasting room down the street, and I'd been brewing this idea of the speaker series, but I thought, what should we do? How should we do it? And really, the reality was, I'm here by myself every day. How do I invite friends over? And so I thought, let's do a speaker series. And they came in for a tasting, and then, what do you do? How do you do it? Blah, blah, blah. And he says, oh, we grow bonsai. And I was like, oh my God, bonsai. And I said, I'm like talking about bonsai, and George looks at me and like, do you know what bonsai means? And I was like, I don't know, like waves in the wind or something. He said, no, it means tree and pot.
You should have brought one.
And I was like, okay, well, now I don't know anything about bonsai. And I said, you should come in and do a speaker series. And they were like, what? And so they came.
The first time, yeah.
The very first one. And the house was like this, and we were in this tiny space, and it was such a joy.
Yes.
And we had so much fun.
We did.
And you started it all. So thank you. And then they recently came in a few months ago, and I was like, and they said, oh, do you remember me? And I'm like, what? Like, I talk about you all the time. You have no idea how much I talk about you. I said, would you come back? So thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
So anyway, what?
What's your name?
Really?
I'm a teacher, so I just kind of tend to do those things.
More than most. So my name is George Muranaka, and I own a Muranaka Bonsai Nursery. And it's pronounced bonsai, and everybody says bonsai. That's the common usage. So that's how it's said, but it's bone as in bones and in your body, and bonsai. So if you say bonsai to a bonsai person, then they'll think you know what you're talking about. Anyway, so one of the things about this tree is, if you want to take a picture of it, it's not going to look anything like this when it's done. So one of the things about bonsai is that you look for the front of the tree. So you look at it this way, right? And it doesn't look like anything. But if you turn it this way, you can see the shape of the tree. But so I have not seen this tree other than I water it every day. But anyway,
Wait, George, I have a question.
Sure.
But you dug this tree up today?
No.
Okay, this has been
growing
growing in this pot.
It's been growing in a pot.
For how many years?
That's a good question. It's probably about 12, 13 years old. Wow. It's been in here probably 5, 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
So, but your dad started the nursery how long ago?
1978.
Well, no, that's when he started, 1978, but we took over in 1993, so yeah, he started a long time ago, in the 70s. But anyway, so I'm going to cut off a lot of the branches, and I'm going to speak as I do this, so if anybody has any questions, just raise your hand and just holler it out.
Can you raise it up before so we can just see?
Sure.
Thank you.
It's kind of heavy. This is what it looks like before.
Have you decided what the front of it is?
I have no idea.
Which side is the front?
Yeah, I was going to say,
I
where's
have
the
no
front?
idea where the front is. So when I I'll turn it around. I'll find the front,
Okay.
and I will show you what the tree looks like. So I will take a lot of the branches off of the bottom because a tree. This doesn't look like a tree because it is a Procumbens nana. So this is the most common tree used in bonsai. But the thing about it is, it's actually a ground cover. So you probably stepped on it a zillion times and you just walk on it, but what happens is it trails off and then it hits the ground, and then it re-roots, and then it just pushes further and it just goes out. And so what we do is we raise it up, and then it grows upwards, and then once it reaches its height, we just take the stake off. So that's what I did earlier. I took the stake off. But anyway, that's
How do you
what it-
maintain the compact smallness of it if it's 12 years old?
That is a good question. What happens is it remains small by you pruning it. It does not do anything other than grow, but it'll remain small if you prune it. So if you keep it maintained, then it'll remain small. But that doesn't mean 20 years from now it wouldn't be bigger. It would be. It would be a lot bigger, but it remains small by you pruning it. So that's a very good question.
And doesn't it also remain small by being in a pot, restricted in a pot?
No, not really. So it does remain small because you did not transplant it. So it will slow itself down, but it needs to be healthy. So what you do is you would transplant the tree every 4 years, and then what happens is it'll become very, very healthy, and then it'll look really good when you.
Need a flashlight? Some light, it's a little dark in here.
It is a little dark, but that's okay.
That's good. Yeah. Better, worse? Or we'll do one on both sides. How's that?
Thank you.
Can you talk about the history of bonsai?
So
Sorry, I gotta get better at that.
the history of it is,
It smells so good.
it's really strange because every juniper has a certain smell. So if you told me what kind it is, you can tell by the smell. So I know it sounds really odd, but each tree.
One's handled for sure.
We're in a winery, so that kind of makes sense. Each grape smells really differently too, right?
Yeah.
Very good. That's true.
No, but it looks good.
And when you look at a tree before you shape it, do you have any idea what you're gonna do with it?
I have no idea. So
I don't know which is
I,
which.
what I would tell somebody on this tree is pick every single branch and just clean the bottom, because if you ever take a walk around the block, you'll notice there's not a whole lot of growth underneath because there's not a whole lot of sunlight. So what happens is, does that mean there's no growth? Of course not. There's going to be some growth, but if you walk around the block, you'll notice that there's not as much growth on the bottom as there is on the top. You're going to get very tired.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
Can you share the history of
Oh, I'm sorry.
bonsai?
Yeah, so the history of it is, if you, bonsai has been around for thousands of years. And so people have thought, okay, maybe it originated in China, maybe it originated in Japan. And so if you look at bonsai in Japan, they formalized all the different styles and stuff. But if you look at bonsai in China, it's the same thing. They have, you can see bonsai in China, but they're going to be a lot different than bonsai in the US and in Japan. Because in Japan, they formalized the different styles.
What are the styles?
Boy, oh boy. So
One in
the-
every food.
The styles come By the direction of the tree. So what I mean by that is, so the angle of the branch is kind of the style. So what they do is they have a cascade style, they have the semi-cascade, they have a upright, they have all these different styles based on how the tree's leaning. And so the shape of the tree is dictated by the tree itself, really. So you wonder how I'm gonna shape this. I have no idea. So
All my questions make me nervous.
a little bit. Because I'm not very good at speaking and
And working at the same
working at the
time,
same time. But anyway,
multitasking.
oh gosh.
Linda, do you want to share?
So George's dad came over right after World War II,
Yep.
and no,
Yeah, come on.
no.
Come on.
I've been speaking in front of kids all day. I'd
I
rather
know, but
not.
no one can hear you, so come on.
Oh,
You can do it.
so they came over from right after World War II. So they came over and they were. What did you say, George? When like Santa Maria Berry Farms paid for them to come and work for them. That's when they came over on the boat. And then so George and all his siblings were born in America. And so he always did bonsai, and then he started the bonsai club in Santa Maria, and George continues it right now
Oh,
too.
amazing.
Yeah, and so, not that I know anything, I just kind of watch. Because my mother-in-law tried to make a tree one time, and they made so fun of her. I was like, I'm not gonna try that. I'm not gonna try that. No. But so I'm gonna tell you, like when you said cascade, so if you see trees sometimes, like a bonsai tree, and you see it's cascade, that means that the branches are coming down this way, right? And then, like he said, it depends on the tree, how it's going to be. So that's my limited knowledge, and I'm not gonna do it.
Oh my gosh. So your dad started, why
He came
did he,
over.
so why did he change from berries to bonsai?
I don't think he changed.
Oh.
He worked until he was 70 or
He-
70?
He worked quite often, but he worked for the Shihis, and if anybody's worked in Santa Maria at all,
You would
the
know
Shihi,
them?
yeah, you would know them.
Very fun.
Okay.
But
So they sponsored him to come over.
but the parents, the person who actually sponsored him was the dad. So the dad of the Shihis. So it was the I guess the dad. But anyway, so when he came over, he worked for the Shihis, but so he started out picking berries like everybody else.
Picking berries, and they lived in a little small shack,
Yeah.
right? And that's where the kids were born, and that's how they grew up.
Yep.
Now, that was right after in California when they sent people to the internment camps. So they never went to the internment camps.
Fortunately for them. yeah.
They came over after.
Afterwards, yeah, so they came over in 1956. But he came to Santa Maria, my father did, and so it was really interesting because they thought it snowed in Santa Maria because it had never snowed in Santa Maria up until he got here. So they thought it would snow in Santa Maria every year, and it just snowed the one time in 1956.
Wow.
Yeah, so,
It kind of snowed this week, though.
we had hail.
It looked like snow.
Yeah, we had
The other
hail
day,
like crazy.
like,
in
earlier.
November.
So,
So
but how
he,
did he switch from berries to
I
bonsai?
don't think, I could be wrong, George, I don't think he ever like switched over.
No,
He always did it. He always did it, but he worked, and he was a supervisor for the berry farms, and he worked his way up, and he did a lot for the Shihis. Even when he passed, they had a service for him. That's, 'cause they, yeah.
Did your dad work in bonsai in Japan?
No, not even remote.
But he was an artist
He was an artist, so
in Japan.
so we tried to get him an oil painter.
Wow.
So he did landscapes.
Woodworking.
And well, he did woodworking like his brother did, but he did a lot of oil, mostly in landscapes. And so when I went as a kid to Japan, I asked him, "Who did all those paintings?" He goes, "I did." And I said, "Yeah, I'm right." And so he goes, "No, I did." He goes, "But I asked my cousins where the paintings are, and nobody knows."
Aww.
Which I don't believe them, but that's okay.
So you found the front.
I kind of did.
And so when did he buy the property in Tacoma and decide to?
1978. That's
Yeah.
why that sticks in my mind.
Yeah.
You know, so it was 2 acres of just land, and then
Yeah.
that's when he started planting the trees. But then he got different types of trees from Japan. Japanese black pine is the seeds that he got from Japan, and that's why that was the important,
You grow the tree from seed?
Yeah,
from Japan.
yeah, that's
Wow.
kind of crazy.
So do you influence the tree as it's growing at all, or you just let it go?
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wire the tree, and what's gonna happen is it's like braces on your teeth. Someone was telling me, and so what happens is it's going to shape the tree the way a little faster, and so that way you get the shape that you want a little bit quicker than.
But when you're growing, might you, if you want to have a cascade, might you kind of put a lid on its head so it kind of goes that way? I mean,
You know what?
do that with some?
The easiest thing to do is get a tree to, instead of trying to bend the tree to your will, try to find a tree that is a cascade already. That way you don't have to fight with it. And it's a lot easier than
That's it.
You said this tree was about 12 years old.
yes. It's probably older.
That you normally do. How long do you let them grow before you do this?
It could be really young, and I could shape it and put it in a pot. So I probably do that, because if I don't, then I won't have anything to sell. So I do.
3 years old. What's young?
Probably like 4 or 5.
Yeah, but what's the oldest tree you have?
The
Your dad's oldest
the
tree.
oldest tree that he has is a collected California juniper that's been estimated to be, I keep saying 320, but now it's gotta be 350. So the thing is, it's been around longer than most. Yeah. So the thing about bonsai that's kind of interesting is it's been around for a long time. So
So do you, for an old tree like that, do you then let it just grow and then periodically get haircuts?
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But so you're gonna put the wire there to train it,
Yeah.
right?
But, so you check the wires probably every couple months to make sure that it doesn't bite, because if it does bite,
Into the tree?
yeah, it's not gonna come out that easily.
Bite into the bark.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here.
You do
So
not
does
get
that tree ever generate a seed?
Yes, it does, but before it seeds, I will probably start a new one from a cutting, which means something like
Like
this
that.
big, and poke it in and start it.
Wow.
Yeah, so,
Like grapevines.
there you go. Like a grapevine.
Maybe.
But, you have to wait a long time.
Seems like I'm gonna learn a lot.
And how long is it gonna live in this pot?
You know what? Not as long as people I always tell people to leave it as long as you can, because if you
Because you've
leave it
seen
in, if
the
you leave it
bonsai
in,
pots, right?
yeah, if you put it in a bonsai pot, it would be very shallow. This could fit in a pot about 7 inches by 5 inches by an inch deep, easily.
Wow.
And so there's rules of how deep the pots are supposed to be. I don't want to bore you to cheer.
Question?
Yes.
Has, in the history of bonsai, has there always been the element of wiring, or is that something that evolved over time?
I would say it evolved over time because in Japan, they shaped it, basically, if you look at the shapes, more so in China than in Japan, but they shaped it very odd shaped because they tried to write characters. And so you look at it and you look at it and you go, that's kind of odd. But that's because they were trying to write characters with the trees. So it was really, really odd. So basically, you have to know your tree because this tree will not reshoot. And so you have to be careful of where you cut it.
One of them?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
So you should know your tree because this tree will not reshoot.
So once you cut it, it'll remain that way, or?
Yes, so
Wow.
like where it's brown, if I decide to cut it short, it would die right here and die to a green area. So it would, if I cut it here, it would die to where there's a
Right.
green shoot. So now, if it were an elm, let's say, then it would shoot about 1/4 inch behind where you cut it. And so as long as you know your tree, it's pretty easy to shape.
And so once you shape it, how much will this grow?
That's a good
Like, will it fill out again in these spots, or?
It will fill out, and so it'll fill out more so, and then you have to shape it again, and then you cut it, and then you try to get it.
Completely different tree.
I know, it doesn't look good.
So when was the last time this one was trimmed?
Believe it or not, I try to shape everything once a year.
Wow.
I don't get to it.
How many
It's
trees,
just me.
how many trees do you have in the
Oh,
nursery?
God.
Hundreds, thousands?
No, I would say thousands.
Oh, wow.
But I don't count them because I would probably get depressed.
Do you give a lesson with the purchase?
That's a good question.
It used to be a new business, George.
Yes. My husband would work with you in a second. He fancies himself bonsai person. We have one at home and he's always
Pruning it?
nurturing it and watering and feeding and moving it.
That's good.
Yeah, so he'll be your assistant, he'll be your apprentice.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Oh, that kind of, piggyback on that. When I look at bonsai trees, I think of it being a meditative practice.
You know,
Did I just make that up?
Yeah. Does
you
it
know
feel
what?
that way right now?
Does it feel like that now? No. But, so as far as meditative, it's really funny that you should say that because a lot of doctors I know, a lot of dentists, a lot of people who have stressful jobs use bonsai as a hobby because they could use it, do a lot less for a lot more. So anyway, getting back to the history of it, bonsai is part horticulture, part art, part everything. So the reason for that is because the lowest point represents man, and the second point represents gosh, what am I forgetting?
I'm like, I've only heard this 20 times, why can't I?
You've heard it a zillion times.
Man, heaven on top.
Heaven on top. And, well, you know what? I think the lowest point represents Earth. I take that back. And then the second lowest point represents man, and the highest point represents heaven. And if you have all three in balance, then you have a tree.
I don't know if you've ever been to a Buddhist service or not. It's meditative, and you know what I mean? You might make more sense with this if you study Buddhism. It does make a lot of sense. And I've only gone to services. I'm not going to say that I've studied it, but it is very interesting.
And George, did your dad teach you, or you just learned by watching and being around?
You know, my father taught me bonsai, but he didn't teach me anything about bonsai. He taught me about, he goes, make a bonsai. And I said, okay, how hard can that be? I didn't tell him that because he would hit me on the side of the head. So he said, make a bonsai and I'll tell you everything you did wrong. I went, okay. So it took me about 5 minutes and I was done. And I used Cummins Nana and I used the one yellow. And so I think that's about it. So he had me work on the tree, and he goes, he just shook his head, took all the wire off. I go, why didn't you teach me how to wire? And he goes, what did I tell you? And he goes, make a bonsai. And I said, okay. I made a bonsai, and he goes, no, you didn't.
Oh, wow.
So he just showed me that I did not know what I was doing, and that he just basically showed me how to wire. He said, pay attention to what I do in the future. Okay, so the next day, he has me work on his favorite tree, one of his favorite trees.
Oh my gosh.
And he has me prune it, and I said, oh, okay. You show me a branch, and you prune it, and then show me how to do it. And I said, okay. So he pruned it, and he was done in about 5 minutes. And it looked really good, and I said, okay. He goes, do the rest of the tree. And I go, okay. And I looked, and I started, and I stopped. And I started, and I stopped.
How old were you?
Probably in my 30s.
Oh.
Real old. So I worked on it, and I was done. It took me about 2 days to prune it. And so I was done, and he goes, you did a good job. Thanks, Dad. I go, what did I do? What did I do wrong? And he goes, you did a good job. And I said, what would you do? Say that? And he goes, well, did you think about every cut? I go, yes. I sweated over every cut. And he goes, so you did exactly what you were supposed to do. And that's what he told me about. Anyway, this is the finished tree. And that's the front of it. This is the back.
But so now if you wanted to put it in a bonsai pot, how long would you leave it?
I would probably leave it as long as I can, because this is organic soil, plant-based. So it will hold a lot of water. If you ever look at bonsai soil, it's got a lot of inorganics in it. So it has pumice, scoria, which is lava rock, and then it has akadama. And I don't get akadama usually because it's too expensive. So a bag about yay big would be about $85. That's just to get it here. So I would have to sell it for like 100, 120 to make any money on it.
What is akadama?
Akadama, very good question. It's a fired clay. And so it's really funny because in Australia they use just pumice and just scoria, which is lava. And so they don't use akadama because akadama only comes from Akadama, Japan. That's the only place so someone said you'd be rich if you could find
Here?
akadama in the US. And so everybody's tried, but no one's succeeded in finding akadama in the US. But it's a clay that is fired at a high temperature, probably around 2,000 degrees, and it soaks up water. So what would happen is, if I put this in a bonsai pot and use scoria and pumice, then it would probably drain real fast, but it would be wet at the bottom. Because no matter how you rinse it, you're always gonna have dust at the bottom that settles, and you'll kill it with kindness.
That's not gonna.
And do you prune the roots? at any
You do.
time?
Every 3 years, I would probably, I say that, but you can come to the nursery and I probably have not transplanted something for about 10 years. But that's because everything is heavy. So this, every 3 years, you would cut the roots completely off, but you're actually invigorating the growth when you cut it. And so it'll actually grow faster. And so what happens is, when you cut, if you do it the right timing, when it either goes dormant or comes out of dormancy, it's the right time. So you don't want to do it in the winter, and you don't want to do it in the summer, because you'll probably kill it. Not a juniper, because they're very hardy. But in the spring, if you did it in the spring, that would be the best time. The second best time is in late fall, early winter, when they go dormant. And everyone goes, well, how do you know they're dormant? Well, look at the deciduous trees and see when the leaves fall, and that's when you know it's dormant.
How much would you sell that for?
Oh, man. Now that it's shaped, probably a lot. No, if I were gonna sell it, my kids always tell me quit competing with Walmart. But the thing is, my father started the nursery keeping the prices low so that people would drive from Los Angeles in the Bay Area. So I have a lot of people that come every 1 year, every 3 years, every 5 years, every 10 years. And so I don't see them up until when they come. And so it's really odd to get a customer really close by. I actually have customers really far away. And do I advertise? No. Because you can find the nursery pretty easily just by Googling it. So people Google and look it up.
Can you talk to us more about, you said that the bonsai pot is going to be very shallow, and it's in that pot. So does it live in that pot and then you put it in the bonsai pot?
Yeah, so
Or-
when you put it into the bonsai pot, you have to think of it as more of a maintenance phase. Because, so unless it's completely done, you don't really want to put it into a bonsai pot. So I might wait another 10 years, 15 years.
Before you put that.
Yeah, but guess what? I'll sell this way for that. And I'll probably put it in a pot for them.
And then once it's in that shallow pot, will it live in that forever?
Pretty much for the next 2 or 3 transplants at least. So
So how
every
often do you transplant them?
3 to 5 years,
Yeah.
depends.
Like, you put it into
But
bigger pots.
This could be in the same pot probably for about 20, 25 years.
Do pay
easily.
attention.
So
Yes, you
the only time you would change it is if you want to change it. Yes.
So do you have to feed it with fertilizers?
Good question. So if you took high school biology, it'll be green no matter what, right? So it'll feed on its own, but yes, you do feed it. So what you do is you feed it anything that's organic. So I always tell people to use organic fertilizers like anything but Miracle Grow. Because if you ever look at Miracle Grow, it has a lot of nitrogen. And nitrogen will surge the foliar growth and also the root growth.
Osmocote?
Osmocote would be good. But if you use Osmocote, put it into the soil and just blend it with it rather than put it on the top.
Yeah.
Because if it gets really hot, you're gonna kill your tree. Because if you saw how Osmocote works, it's pelletized.
Right.
And it's so they have different colors, and the hottest one, if it gets hot, it's just gonna burst all of them. And so you're gonna get nitrogen, and it's gonna kill the whole tree.
Because it's like, nitrogen's like candy, like a lot of sugar.
Oh.
It
Like
does
some
have
of
a-
the girls zap, and you're like, oh, too much, and then it's like.
But in the
not
long
good.
run.
Yeah. Question?
Okay.
Yes.
So that's marketable like that, people want it?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay, so they're gonna take it home and leave it in that pot? You're gonna-
I would tell them to, but no one listens to me. So
No, we want a pretty pot, we want a pretty pot.
Yeah, they'll put it in a prettier pot, but they'll put it in a bonsai pot and they'll put it in tomorrow. But
Yeah,
I would tell them not to, but they don't care.
and will that kill it?
No, probably not, because junipers are pretty hard.
So what's gonna kill it?
Haven't turned it
Because
too bad.
everybody kills their bonsai.
I know.
You're not watering
Turn it
it
back
and
around.
also putting it inside.
Oh, indoors.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
they're
tell
always
you,
in the kitchen.
most people, this is the back of the tree. But, so if you put it inside, you're gonna probably kill it in about 2 years, 3 years. And I can tell you that until I'm blue in the face. but-
Because of why? The temperature?
No, there's not enough light.
Oh, you do?
So you would think there's enough light, but there isn't. And because it needs all the spectrum. The bad stuff and the good stuff.
Nina's in a good mood.
But also it's been
Mama
growing
needs you to
outside
be in a
for
good mood.
life, and I was-
Because when she's in a good mood,
That-
Do it in
she
jail.
does things.
That is true.
And she's not
but-
too mean to
You can't
herself.
just rotate it like
But
3
you
months
can-
in, 3 months
Yeah,
out.
well, no, you'll probably,
She's
if
defending
you put it
herself.
in 3 months,
She doesn't put
you
it-
have to
that's good, I know.
slowly take it outside.
Ah.
Because if you put
Yeah.
it outside right now, you'll shock. Yeah.
But in Hawaii, even where the temperature is the same all year long,
Yep.
every year you buy your mother a new bonsai for her birthday because the last one died.
Yeah, but
Every year.
If you water it consistently.
Too much water, I thought.
No, if you water it consistently, I always tell people to water roughly every other day.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
So
you
too
won't
little
kill it.
water.
Probably too little. If you water it every other day, take the weekend off, it'll survive. Yeah, unless of course it's 85 degrees or hotter, then you water that day.
And it's indoors.
Yeah, if it's indoors, I would tell you to water less. But it's hard to say how to water it indoors because I don't have any plants in
Yeah. Because this is an outdoor tree.
Yeah,
so
that
you-
makes all the
but-
sense. in the
That's the
world.
first thing people want to do.
But everybody buys
is
a
put it
bonsai
inside.
at the market, you know,
Yeah.
to have indoors in your kitchen or whatever.
Yeah, that's
Right,
true.
and so that's what's wrong.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
You
people don't
should, you
listen.
should not have it inside, but
Wow.
Because they're
you
trees.
Could, you could use a ficus varietal or a porcelaceous because she told me to make indoor stuff and I sell them like I
Yeah, I'm
I
like,
probably
make something
sell
that's
more-
best.
more indoor stuff than I do sell
Very
outdoor
smart.
stuff.
And so do they have longer
They don't
longevity, like
Well,
4
they
years?
they could live a long time, but the problem gets to be they don't look bonsai-esque. Not like this does.
Yeah.
If you know what a
ficus,
porcelaceous
yeah.
looks like, or a jade,
A jade
a
plant.
little jade, a teeny tiny jade, but a jade plant, no matter how you shape it, is gonna look like a jade plant,
Yeah.
no matter what you do. And so the ficus varietals, if you could find a willow leaf ficus, it's called willow leaf because it looks like it has a willow leaf, and it's really small, so that you can keep inside. Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about the bonsai club and what, are there competitions? You know, what do you do at a bonsai club?
Okay, so the bonsai club, it's more of a social gathering than anything else, but
We drink wine.
sadly we
I
don't.
sponsor the bonsai.
Sadly we don't, but that would make it fun. So what happens at the bonsai club is normally you pick a subject that follows that month, and then you do that for about the first 30 minutes, and then you
A free-for-all?
yeah, pretty much.
What's an example of the subject each month of bonsai?
It could be a different type of tree. It could be like a raft planting, where you would lay this down. It could be a root over rock. It could be all kinds of stuff. But it could be soils. It could be anything. But the thing is, I am the president, the vice president, the whole shebang. Nobody wants to nobody wants, if anyone's worked in a club of any type, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah,
Everybody
nobody does
changes-
any work.
No, everybody changes deck chairs.
Some of the longest lived bonsai, I understand, are in excess of 1,000 years.
Oh, easily.
Right, so I've seen
Yeah.
some in the National Arboretum
Yep.
and in Portland, at
Yep.
the Japanese gardens.
Yep.
So are those trees, would they have lived that long without being a bonsai? Or are they, does the bonsai process somehow allow them to live longer, or?
I would say so, so somebody asked me, how long does a pine live? And I said, I don't know. Until somebody kills one, I have no idea. So in Japan, they've lived 700 years. So, in Japan, they've passed down several generations, 20 to 25. So if you call each generation 20 to 25 years, you're talking about 500-600-year-old trees. So it's hard to imagine. So they would tell you how to take care of it, and then you're supposed to improve the tree so that when the next generation takes it, they know how to care for it and they improve the tree. And so my father, he's never said, these are your trees. He's never said that. But he's always said that these are my trees, leave them alone. So okay. So I left him alone. But I think now that he's gone, it's just like, okay, I can't kill them, because if I kill them, then I don't know. I would do that. So I try to keep them going. So I try to transplant them and all that good stuff.
With that thought, I understand also that some of those long-lived trees, hundreds of years old, they'll have like these intricate funerals for these trees.
Very true. But it's hard to imagine a tree that's that old. Well, especially in the U.S. because we have that 350-year-old tree, but you think the U.S. has only been around for 240 years or whatever. So it's hard to
Next year,
imagine that
250.
there's a 350-year-old tree.
26.
How many members are in this bonsai club?
Very few now. So everybody's getting older and passed on, so I would say half a dozen. But we used to, so it's my fault, because I should be growing the business and growing the bonsai club, but I don't, because I just don't have time. Because I'm at the nursery and I'm working.
So you need an apprentice. Any volunteers?
I was thinking the grandkids is what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah.
We're waiting to see one of them, because definitely not our son.
None of the kids want to.
My son has his own
It's too
business.
hard, yes.
Is there a form of bonsai with plants that are out in the garden, in the ground, not in the pot?
You know what? Bonsai literally means bon and sai, which means pot and a tree. Sai is tree and bon means pot. So unless you buried the pot underneath the ground, no.
So you can mimic it.
You can mimic it, yeah, but it would be a Japanese style landscape tree more so than a bonsai. But actually I pruned a black pine today, and she had it 30 feet tall, and I said, I don't work on trees that tall. I said, unless it's under 10 feet tall, I'm not gonna work on it. And she goes, okay, and so she got her gardener to cut it. She goes, okay, now you can prune it. So it didn't take me that long, but the problem gets to be, I told her that it's gonna look terrible for about 5 years, 6 years. So it's gonna take a lot, yes.
You haven't
They expect them to
talked, or
do
maybe
it.
you haven't without
Yeah,
but about how you select vessel.
Okay, so the pots, I could bore you to tears with the pots. But the pots, so this, if it's strong, you normally use a rectangle pot. An oval pot is more for something that has a little movement in it. And also, if you use a colorful pot, so if you have a colorful pot, that means you have a colorful flowers or fruit or leaves or something that could stand the color. Because other than that, you're gonna stare at the pot. You're not gonna stare at the tree. So that's why the junipers and the see on the side of the road, don't get me wrong, I don't care. They need to make a living, so I say nothing. But ask them what style it is, and they'll say it's a bonsai. And they'll say, okay, what style is it? And they'll say it's a bonsai. Because it has no style. So a bonsai, again, literally means tree in a pot, but it has to have a certain style. So this is an informal upright. So basically it tells you it has a bend in the trunk. So for a formal upright, it has to be perfectly straight. And there's very few trees that are perfectly straight. You're gonna find, if it has a bend at the top, it's an informal upright, not a formal upright.
So what does this tree retail for? How's that your nursery?
If you came to the nursery, it would cost you $45.
Really?
After you've done that?
No, if I
No,
know
let's
this,
say buy just the tree.
Yeah.
yeah, you could buy the tree for $45.
After 12 years of you nurturing it? Yes.
I know.
No.
I know, tough business.
That's insane.
I don't disagree, but that's how my father started it, so that's how.
Wow.
Yes.
What kind of fruit trees would you want?
You can, so now,
And would it fruit?
it would fruit.
What?
So my father had an apple tree, real small, but he got a fungus on it and he killed it. But the thing was, it was probably about the size of my thumb. It was really short, probably 8 inches, 10 inches, and it just would flower like gangbusters. And he would cut all the flowers off because if you let everything fruit, you would kill the tree. So you can't. It would get a full-size apple.
That would be amazing to see.
And every time we took it to a show and there was a fruit, it would fall off. Every time. So and you'd put it on there and they go, there you go. So no one would ever believe you, but you cut all the flowers off, because if you imagine an apple flower, it's just white, pink,
Yeah.
it's just gorgeous. It's just stunning. And so that's how.
So, different. If you visit Japanese gardens, like around California, which ones are your favorites?
Boy, the Huntington Library has a good one, and then there's one up north, which is the Collection North. It's part of the Golden State Bonsai Federation, GSBF. So if you typed in GSBF, you would find out all kinds of information. But not every single club that belongs to GSBF is in GSBF. There are some bonsai clubs on their own, which is kind of stupid because GSBF has a lot of information. They have, like, I buy the insurance for hardly anything.
Yeah.
You have to be insured. I'm telling you, you have to be insured. So I bought insurance for our club. And it cost me like $300-400 for 1 day.
Wow.
So I go, I'm not doing that again. So I contacted GSBF and they go, no, it's $150 for a year.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
What does that kind of insurance cover?
Yeah, what does it cover?
It covers everything. It covers. Yeah. No, if you killed your tree, that's your fault.
It would cover what, theft or damage?
You know, I've never used it, so I would think it would cover everything.
Now, George,
They do have.
does this water and the rain that we've had the last few years, is that beneficial to you, or no?
It's actually good. Rainwater is the best water you can give it.
Yes.
But then the weeds grow. So.
Then you got to leave.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. I can't win for trying. So anyway, yeah. So it's rainwater is the best water you can give it. And if I were to feed this, I would give it rainwater. But you can collect water.
So where is your nursery?
I'm in the Apollo. So if you can, it looks like a house. So, but we were there before everybody else grew around us. So if you go there, you would not know we were there. So,
So
it,
you need to make an appointment?
It's better to call,
preferably,
yeah.
yeah,
Better
just
to
if you
call.
call, I will tell you if I'm there. Because 99% of the time, I'm there, but if I have to go to the post office or the bank or something, I don't want to not be there if you show up.
And you're not open to the public, not open?
I am open to the public. I am retail completely.
Well,
I am not wholesale.
And do most of your customers come and buy a tree not shaped and they shape it themselves, or do they ask you to shape it for them?
No, I'd say 50-50, but most of the people who come to the nursery want the stuff in the ground because you grow them in the ground and you get them big and you shape them a certain way.
what is your address?
We're at 419 Harbor Lane.
I think it's, you have the name up there, the name's up there, just go Muranaka Bonsai
Bonsai Nursery.
and it'll come up.
419 what street?
Harley.
Just put in Muranaka Bonsai Nursery and it'll come up.
Okay.
You would think I have cards. Can I do?
So is it like going to buy your Christmas tree where you go in and you look around and decide I like that one and then you dig it up? How does it work?
You could do that, but, so all the stuff in the ground is, picked out during certain times of the year. So if you go late fall, early spring, anytime, you can dig it up. But you don't wanna shape a tree that you just dug out for probably 6 months to a year. So you would leave it alone, and you go, oh God, you have to leave it alone? Yeah. So, if you don't have patience, don't pick bonsai.
Do you have trees that are just as you brought this one in, a nice pot, been sitting there, or you've been growing and nurturing it for 10, 15 years, and then you can go and select a few to go home?
I have a few. I should have a lot, but I don't. I used to have a bunch, but now I probably have a dozen that you can select. And they're pretty small. And so the thing is, I have more of other people's trees than I have of mine.
So we're all coming to get one for Christmas. So I think we need, there's more than 12 people in the room.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Auction.
Auction, that's a good idea, George.
So what time should we all come to?
Early.
Hey, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Would you consider doing a class?
I would.
Like like we come and we get the tree and then 6 to 12 months later.
6 months later, that's great.
I would, but the thing is,
You need a marketing team, I think.
that would be helpful. But
I have to retire first. I can't do them both.
so usually I would, but I have to earn a certain amount before I come. So
That's easy.
Well, so you say, hi, if you buy this
Yeah.
many trees,
Yeah.
that entitles you to.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
therefore, then you'll have the class and you'll do.
But the thing is, I would sell it anyway. So